Hello everyone, welcome back to Gnomoria. So, this is Spot, obviously. Alright, it's been a little while since I've been in Gnomoria. Had a lot of things going on in real life, etc, etc. It happens. Had some other stuff I've been playing. In the last episode, and actually in the 25th episode as well, because I hadn't added the more recent episodes to the playlist, so he only got to 25. A nice gentleman who goes by the name of Silver Token brought up some very interesting things, and I'm very appreciative for that. He explained some things which are quite enlightening, etc. And pretty much a large portion of this episode is going to be me tweaking things. Normally, this would fall under the category of something I do off camera, but since Gnomoria is, like, I've come to the conclusion, about 95% tweaking things, that's what the game is, it would be silly for me to do that off camera because that wouldn't really be much of the game, now would it? So let's go over this list I have. I had to, read through everything and get things down into bullet points so I could easily talk about them. The first thing that he figured out that nobody caught, including myself, so I'm my responsibility, I'm the one to blame, is that the woodcutters did not actually have woodcutting assigned to them, which is unbelievable to me. Actually, we had Farmer Peawood, these guys, they did not have this on. It's on right now because I was so astounded. I was like, no, that can't possibly be the case. So I actually opened up Gnomoria. I was actually working on a piece of code when I saw his comment, and I'm like, wait a minute. And I put my code on pause, and I'm like, I gotta go check this out. There's no way. And I went and I opened up Gnomoria, and I loaded it up, and I looked, and wow, there it was. So, yes. And I just loaded up this game, but back when I did that, I verified. I like waited, and they started chopping down trees, so I'm just like, oh man, I don't know how. I can see how I missed that, but I don't know how we all missed it. That was absolutely astounding, so thanks a lot, man. Okay, the other thing is, he did point out, which makes perfect sense because it is in that menu, is that when you do a direct command to fell trees, like this one, okay, that's an agricultural command. Okay, so it falls under an agricultural skill, as opposed to this being a grove command. So, for instance, he had pointed out, if I want them to take a higher notice or higher priority of that command when I set it manually, agricultural needs to be set as at a higher priority than the grove or whatever else I'm trying to override. Okay, makes perfect sense. Thanks for that. Just knowing that helps. And again, I'm not an idiot. I'm not. But a lot of this stuff I would figure out if I had the time and the leisure to just, sit down and just play and just tinker with little things and be like, oh yeah, oh that's interesting, and mess around with stuff. And I've had it suggested multiple times by several people that open up another game and just mess around with stuff and see how it works. I'm like, I would love to. I literally don't have time, and I know that that's not a good excuse, but unfortunately that's the case. So thus far this series has been you guys watching me stumble over myself, and I appreciate you for hanging in there and helping me out. So even when I've gotten a bit frustrated and cranky about it, not your help, me tripping over myself, actually. All right. What was the other thing? Things. He had mentioned that, which was just good to know in general, because I had wondered that, these things, not suspend, but these things move in order, right? So they'll plant saplings, and then when they're ready, they will cut clippings, and, oh, no, I'm sorry, they don't go in order. I'm sorry. Oh, I thought these were in order. Robobob should move these where they're actually in order. What he tells me is, and I have no reason to disbelieve him. Is that a word, disbelief? Yes, it is. But if he's wrong for some reason, somebody please correct me. And I don't know, but it made sense, right? So when you have a grove, after the stuff's grown, it will pick fruit if you have it selected. Then it will cut clippings. Then it will fell the trees, and then it will plant saplings. And there's a case, which this made sense already, and I had already actually started preparing for this, is that, you know, if you, for instance, if you plant saplings, and then you have too few people working on a farm, so your actual gnome to farm size ratio is off, you'll have an issue where you'll plant saplings, and before they can get done planting the saplings, they'll start growing, and then what'll happen, or they'll wait and you'll have a full thing, right? And they'll start picking fruit, and maybe, for instance, they'll pick fruit, and before they can get done, more fruit starts growing, right? And so then they get stuck in this loop, or they start cutting clippings, and more leaves start growing behind them right before they can get done, and so they get stuck in a loop. His suggestion on this, now, before I go into that, I'll just say, this is something that I had foreseen already, which is one of the reasons why most of my groves are like this, because I want to manually do this. I want to go, okay, so everything's grown, now I want to cut clippings. And then, you know, after the cut clippings, or now I want to, you know, pick fruit, and after that's done, then I want to cut clippings, and now I want to fell the trees. I want to be able to manually do that. Actually, I want to micromanage that at the moment. And I know that sounds funny because I've bitched about micromanaging things, but that's something that I can visually look at very quickly and go, where are we in that process, and do it. He had suggested what he does actually is he has smaller groves than I do, and he assigns a gnome specifically to a grove. That sounds great. Hey, we have our full vineyard over here now. That's awesome. I didn't actually see that before. That's great. I don't know if I have enough gnomes to just assign them, just to dedicate a gnome to a grove. He didn't say if that's all they do, but if it is all they do, then I don't really have enough gnomes for that at the moment. But tell me what you think, please. What is the other thing? Oh, he said I have far too many farmers for the amount of farms I have, and the size of farms I have. He said that he has 3 farmers for pretty much the same size farms I have. So, yeah. Although currently I only have 4 farmers. Although I do have 2 wood farmers, but they only do wood, I believe, right? Let's check. Yeah, they do no farming. Do they do doctoring? They do medic, and that's mainly because I think I've given pretty much everyone medic, just because it's one of those things where if there's a need for a medic, I want anyone to be able to do a medic. And they also do hauling, obviously, there. Let's look at our farmers for a second here. Farmer. Yeah, they'll do horticulture as well. Now, I'm going to assume when he says he has 3 farmers, his farmers don't do horticulture. That's my understanding. I mean, just to be clear, that's an assumption, but that is my understanding. They also do animal husbandry, right? Yeah, I would like, hey man, if you're watching this, Silver Token, how are your farmers set up? I mean, like, you have 3 farmers. Are they doing horticulture, and are they doing animal husbandry? Because that would be good to know. And obviously, I assume that they're not doing wood cutting. That would be silly. Yeah, in fact, these guys aren't doing any. They're only doing wood cutting and no farming at all. So it might be worth. What else are they doing? Horticulture, wood cutting. That's all they're doing, right? Okay, so probably what I'm thinking about doing, we're going to see how this goes. I'm going to remove woodcutting from normal farmers completely. No, turn it off. Completely off. Thank you. Very good. All right. We're going to see how that goes, at least. All right. What is the next thing on the list? Oh, yeah. He had just said to just pretty much tier everything with priorities. Everything. Like, he said, you know, pretty much the trick is to just, pretty much we want to go Orwellian with everything, right? I mean, like, which this is kind of a given, right? We've already discussed that, how did Marcel put it? It was great. He said, gnomes are stupider than a bag of hammers, I believe is what he said. I liked that, because it's so true. So, for instance, he has a blacksmith, right? And he said that, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he prioritizes, right? So he has like weapons and armor crafting at the top, and then it goes down to other things, and then like at the bottom he has prospecting. So if the blacksmith, which is, from what I understand, dedicated to that, when he has nothing to do, he's prospecting and looking for slivers, and because smelting is above prospecting, whenever he gets enough slivers to actually make a bar, he does that, right? And he only goes to prospecting, which I really like. And again, that's just hardcore tinkering, and I'll mess with that in a minute. I'm just kind of going over the kind of, I don't know, the things that he brought up in semi-agenda we have going on here. He mentioned that turtling will kill you in the end. Mainly it comes down to the fact that the training ground is not as viable for skill building as actual fighting. So, if you turtle in, as your kingdom grows, your skill of your warriors does not increase consistently with the scale of enemies that are coming at you, which makes sense. My problem is, and this is just probably me, I'm still very, I think the proper term would be insecure. I'm insecure with my ability to control my military, because it just seems, I feel very out of control, and everybody dies. Not everybody, but it's like somebody always dies. And there's more about that in a second. Yes, he said it's a good idea to set non-guards to run away, which actually I do not believe I'm currently doing. Right? So, let's see here. It's in formations, if I remember correctly. Yes, avoid enemies. Now this is basic. Let's see here. Doom hammers are using a full-time, right? So that's different. Perform attack orders. Yes. We're going to do basic formation, and we're going to avoid enemies. You're not performing attack orders. I assume attack orders is like here, whenever you have an attack and you set it there. Now, one of the things he also brought up, which I'm not sure I'm okay with, is he said to set guards to this, right? Attack enemies that have been spotted by other gnomes. Now, my problem with this, man, and please, everybody give me your opinion, is that we see stuff outside the walls like bears and honey badgers. I mean, stuff that will kick your ass. I mean, especially at this point in my technological development, right? I mean, just make me drop the soap. And it's not a problem because it's outside the wall, right? Even if we keep the front door open, a lot of times it's outside the wall. I mean, and most of those things aren't going to just come in the front door. I mean, they're not looking for, trouble necessarily. But we still see them, and so if I have this set on, my guards are going to run out and go attack stuff for not necessarily any good reason, if that makes sense. And, I mean, I have seen what a bear can do, and it's not pretty. So, everyone please give me your opinion on that one. Like, should we actually set defend gnomes to on? I mean, assuming that avoid enemies is on, I mean, for all non-guards, they should run away anyway, I'm assuming. And I assume if they run away, unless it's blocked, they would run through the front door back home. That would be my understanding. I don't know. All right. There was actually other things. Yes, in positions, there was Retreat of Bleeding, which is already turned on. Now, I believe Basic Soldier is the only thing we have. Formations all use Basic Soldier. I think both of them do, right? That's basic and this is full-time? Yes, they all use Basic Soldier, which is... yeah, this isn't going to matter at the moment because we don't have any ranged weapons. Retreat of Bleeding was already on. He had suggested that. Retreat to equip uniform, that's on. Retreat for refill ammo. That's not a problem at the moment because we have no ranged weapons. Assist squad later. We have that on. I don't know if this should be on or not. Pretty much at the moment they pretty much usually, you know, stack and group really fast, and it's all just like so. Pursue lost targets. I don't think we went on. So this is what I'm using. This is for both guards and non-guards. But remember, guards are the only one that has perform attack orders, and normal people avoid enemies. So I think that's where we want that. If you have a different opinion, please tell me. And I think I'm gonna sneeze. 1 second. You are welcome for me saving you from having to hear that. All right. No. We don't want to rename that. Crap. Those are the Doom Hammers, right? Was it Doom Hammers like this, or was it Doom Hammers like this? No, that's not even spelled right. Like that. Let's just say it's Doom Hammers. Not Hammers. 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 The Doom Hammers. All right. Oh, and we lost a guard. Do we have any other guards? Yes, we lost that guard in that fight. We have not replaced him. Wonderful. Forgot about that. No, we did. He's just not... Okay, hold on. We did! Squads. We have 3. Supposed to have 4. Where's the other guard? Guard. Is it him? Yes, Phonobizzle. If I ever have a child, I think I might make their middle name Phonobizzle. My girlfriend would love that. Okay, right. Looks like, oh, right, okay, so next on the list. Let me bring up my list. Retreat when bleeding. Yes, we did that. Priorities on stockpiles. All right. Well, actually, one of the other things he said that he mentioned before we go to that is the issue with uniforms. He mentioned that there's a uniform right here, and then there's a different uniform for other stuff. Now, to be clear, this is leather, which I believe, let me see here. Full-time. That's not here. Quads. Or is it positions? Oh yes, it is positions that use this. Okay. Well, maybe that's the issue. Okay, you know what? We're gonna make a new position because this is just simpler. We're gonna be like, civilian. God, I hope I spelled that right. Did I spell that right? I think I did. Alright, we don't really care about any of these right now, do we? There's not really any perk that is... Actually, what is the guard perk out of curiosity? Increased block chance and rate. Oh, that's interesting. Uniform is armor only. Maybe that's been our problem. He did bring that up. We do not want to pursue lost targets. We want to retreat if bleeding for sure. We want them to retreat anyway, but I'm going to turn this on and hopefully it doesn't conflict. Retreat to equip uniform. You should be doing this anyway, right? Let's turn that on anyway. All right. So now we're going to go over to formations, squads. The smooth. Okay, actually, no. We don't need to do that at all. The basic formation is using civilian on all these. That's the deal. Okay, so basic formation is, you know, we're just going to do this. It's the same thing. Civilian formation. We'll call it that, and hopefully it switched everyone over. Yes, civilian formation. Civilian formation. That's full-time. Great. Civilian formation. All right. There we go. I went to avoid enemies. Yes. Okay. This is looking, nicer. Civilian. Retreat. Okay. Yes. Very good. Actually, hold on. Armor only. Right. Okay, and verify our... Here we're doing the armor only. Stone sword. Any stone sword. Right. Okay, I think that is the problem. Okay, yeah, that's great that he Plus, and then I believe in the professions there's also a uniform. Yeah, but this was already set. This was set correctly, but it was the military one was overriding this, which is a problem. Okay, I think that is our main issue. If all of this ends up working, like all this, then I actually feel, I can actually almost feel my frustration level dropping a bit, because I'm like, okay, I get what's going on here. Uniform, you're supposed to have, I'm not sure it matters, but we're gonna make you caretaker. Also, I need to check my caretakers, because crafter, guard. Yeah, you got your own thing. You have a wood cutting, wood stone. Actually, you know, I don't think the wood cutting uniform is going to help, mainly because it's going to be overridden by the other one, I believe. Okay. Priorities on stockpiles. That's the next thing he brought up. He brought up that my priorities on stockpiles are stupid. Pretty much that's what he said. So, I believe that one's really low. Yes. He pretty much said... Now, I have to tell you, man, I'm not sure that I necessarily agree that this is necessarily a problem, because, again, it's scoped to just stockpiles, right? I mean, this doesn't impact... I mean, unless I'm misunderstanding, this doesn't impact, like, other priorities of, like, skills or professions, right? Now, what I thought, and I could be wrong, what I thought is that and please tell me, that the priority of the stockpile will influence if a gnome is hauling, right? It won't influence that. I'm sorry, I'll say, if a gnome has, like, reached the priority level where it's like, I'm going to haul something, right? I thought that the priority of the stockpiles around it will impact what it'll go and try to haul. So, for instance, if bandages are set to 1 all over the map, right, and everything else is 2, it's going to try to haul bandages before anything else. That's my understanding. And I think I think I'm right there already, right? That's my understanding. This was at 5 already. I think this was at like 3 or 2. Okay, and I'll leave that down, that's fine. This is at 5. This is at 5. That's medical. What is this? This is at 2. I can lower it. Doesn't really matter to me. I think these were actually a bit higher. They're at 2, but this is mainly because I wanted this hauling to happen right away. But I guess actually the hauling there doesn't really need to happen right away, right? So I can lower those. That's fine. I don't think that really changes a whole lot. I can set these down. I mean, like, I don't know if you were saying it was already a problem or it would be a problem. But I haven't actually seen, like, any issues that I've noticed with hauling bandages. Whoa. Now, see that? Now that's at 1. I'm not sure why that's at 1. Is this one at 1? Yes, it is. Why is that? Not sure why that is. Oh, you know what? I might have set these to 1, thinking that it might be impacting refilling these, but I don't think that matters anyway. No, stop that. Set these to 5. But these are the only ones that I think were 1. What are these? Yeah, all these, you know, it is, all the seeds are 1. So that's really the thing. I don't think there are any more on that. Now, like this should be 1, right? And this is where we're restoring armor. Well, actually, we don't really need to store armor that much, do we? We can set that to 2, and I believe this is where we have our bandages. Cloth, bandage, yes. Oh, and that's at 1, and that's how we want it, right? And then this, what are these? Is this for bandages? I think this is for bandages too. And yeah, we're out of them. This should be set to, oh yeah, see, that should not be there. We'll set that to 5. A few of them were off, for sure. Now at this moment, we really want people... Is that leather? No, not leather worker. Tailor. We need lots of bandages. Which do require string, yes. Alright. We're gonna have to check our priorities on that stuff. That's gonna be fun. You know, there's actually a... I noticed there's a third-party software, I believe, that lets you more easily manage your professions and the priorities. It's funny, that's almost like one of the first mods on the games. Like, there's one of the most used ones in Dwarf Fortress is Dwarf Therapist, which is the same thing. It's like, for some reason, managing professions is a bitch and really difficult UI-wise, and so developers just like, yeah, screw it, I'll let somebody else do it. Which is just kind of funny. Alright. So... Wow, seriously, we're like 25, 26 minutes already on this episode, and the game hasn't even been unpaused. Alright, so, I guess we need to work on priorities. I wanted to check professions and check, actually, let's see, we have... Now, is it caretaker that handles our... Who handles most of our cooking? Do the farmers still handle the cooking? Is that the deal? Actually, that's what is... No, they're not. They're not handling the cooking. So do we have a cook? Did I start a cook? Or is it just caretaker? I think it's caretaker. Yeah, cooking and brewing. Whoa, what did I just do there? Crap, I don't know what that was. I think it was just butchery. Alright. So... And doctor, caretaking, miscellaneous, and hauling. Right, so I already have a caretaker that does nothing but that. Cloth, one person doing nothing but cloth. One person doing nothing but wood and stone. A miner, 4 guards. 4 farmers. Okay, we're gonna change one of these over to caretaker. We're just gonna see how it goes. I mean, you know, that's the deal. What do we want to do? Okay. Let's change this guy. He's got cooking 22. That's not too bad. We're going to change him over to caretaker. There we go. And... yeah. Now, crafter. Oh, man. You know, the thing is, I still have this same issue that, like, for instance, a blacksmith, right? I have trouble dedicating one gnome to doing blacksmith stuff when we have 17 total, right? I mean, I guess I could take one of these guys and just make them a blacksmith, but... yeah, the actual priority stuff on this is going to be hellish to actually get completely right. Let's skip this for the moment. The other thing that he brought up, and somebody else has told me something like they just said you might want to get to eventually, but he was like, do it now, is I should start tinkering immediately. Because it takes a long time for them to get to a point where they can even make basic traps. That has been the advice given. Tinkerers, hold on. Workshops, is that a miscellaneous? They have their own tinker. Tinkers have their own. Yes, there it is, a tinker's bench. I don't know what this takes. Any chair, we have one of those. Any wrench. Where do you make a wrench? The machine shop, which we do not have. That's fun. Let's see here. Miscellaneous metal mechanism, machine shop. Craft mechanical parts from metal bars. Oh, crap. Speaking of metal, which we have hardly none of. Assemble mechanisms and traps. Okay, that's engineer. You know, one thing that we need is we need a prospector search stone. So yeah, slivers of metal. Any table, which we don't have, but we do have a chisel. So let's build a prospector shop up here, I guess. There we go. And then I like the idea. I guess if we did make one guy do nothing but blacksmith stuff, then he could be prospecting stuff, and we could hopefully find some metal. More than what we're finding down here, right? Because there's just... we're not making a lot of headway on the metal thing, which of course we've, you know... we've only gotten to minus 12, so we're not too bad, but I don't think I've found any metal on this side over here at all. Nope, none at all. Okay, so here's the deal. One, I would like to know what you guys think, including Silver Token, about the amount of gnomes I have compared to... like, okay, well, as an example, I'm sorry, Marcel hates it when I don't finish my sentences. The amount of gnomes I have compared to dedicated jobs, right? I'm not quite sure about that. I mean, right now we have 3 gnomes doing crafting jobs. Now, unless you guys see something otherwise, maybe this could be changed somehow. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm running pretty thin already. So, I need to fit these 3 gnomes here, although this guy does cloth specifically. So, cloth is not necessarily a problem, including leatherworking, I believe. So, that's not as much of an issue. So, I need to fit these 3 gnomes into dedicated jobs for everything else. So, what would that be? That would be dedicated to blacksmithing metal. That's pretty much a given, right? I mean, there's quite a bit to do here. Like, all of this pretty much is blacksmithing and metal. We would need 1 dedicated to... okay, so we've got somebody dedicated to this already. Actually, the loom, the tailor... so actually, we have somebody dedicated to this already. We would need somebody dedicated to stone. And I guess somebody dedicated to wood. Well... yeah, if we have somebody dedicated here already, then doing a full-time blacksmith and a full-time stone mason, whatever, and a full-time carpenter would be doable, right? Because we have 3 other crafters besides the cloth one. That's right, right? Yes, we do. So that may be the way to go. I would like to hear everyone's opinion on that. And I would like to get all this set away before we continue. I think that the headway, just like getting priority stuff worked out and figuring out the whole thing with the uniforms, which, you know what, I wanted to like go a whole game and not actually unpause just because I thought that would be hilarious. But okay, so they dropped the copper sword. Yeah, is that the main issue? I think that's the main issue. That's awesome, man. That was the issue with the uniforms, I think. That's awesome. All right. See, just understanding that makes me feel so much better. I'm like, okay, now I get why that was happening. Whereas before, it had no real feedback. It just didn't make any sense. Oh, there was one other thing that he brought up, which is a great idea. And I'm going, why didn't I? I'm an idiot. I don't know if we want to do it in the armor. Probably not the armor, actually. I'm going to designate another stockpile right here. And we'll change this to 1. Because this is actually important because it is for guards and stuff. And we're going to put build storage crate. So we're going to build a crate here. And we are also going to put a build storage barrel. We're going to put a barrel here as well. And we're going to put some food and drink in here for the guards, so that when they're like, I'm thirsty, and they walk all the way freaking over, we don't want that to happen. We want it to be right here. I mean, like, they're like our elite. We want to keep everything within, you know, arm's reach. That's the deal. So actually, let's stockpile goods. Is it in goods? Yeah, food. I don't know what we want to do here. Probably, you know what? It doesn't matter. Just do something to drink. It's fine. Actually, do we want them drinking on the job? Yeah, why not? All right. Make it wine. We're making wine right now, right? Yeah, make it wine. And food, fruit. Wine and fruit. That's good. So it's a snack, and then later on, if they want like a huge meal, they can just do that. All right. So groovy. That's we have fruit just lying around all over the frickin' place, so that's not a problem. So yeah, let me know, please, 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 please let me know in the comments. This is not one of those normal things where I'm like, if you like the show, please let me know. Haha, I rhyme. No, this is more like, please let me know, because I really, really, really actually need to know what you guys think, because I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing, but I do feel a lot better about where we are. This is good. I would like to, you know, actually get to a point to where it's like most of the details are worked out, and then we can just focus on building and increasing our value and all of that stuff, because that would be really great. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. Until the next time, stay safe, have a great time, and I will see you next time. And I'll get an episode of this out faster, mainly because I've kind of been dreading doing this episode. I'm like, oh, this is so frustrating. But actually, I'm feeling a lot better about it now. So yeah, but please comment and let me know what you think and what we should do next and where everything sits. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.